Kia ora koutou, welcome back. Today was one of those sessions where nothing went my way. I missed the bet at early entries, and when I finally did take an early entry, the timing was completely off. I just kept trading, hoping something would click, but it felt like the market was out to test me at every step. In the end, I did find one green trade, but it was hard work, and overall, I still finished the day in the red. Let's break it down. So the first stock I traded today was AUUD. I caught a pullback around $2.90 here, but you can see it popped up around just before 6 o'clock and then popped up again just before 6:30. I came in and I saw that pop there, but was a bit too late to take advantage of that front side of that move. I thought that it would carry on, and it kind of did. It pulled back here, it pushed up to around 310, and then was pulling back again. I was looking for the push high to 320, 330, but it had other plans. It sort of went sideways, rejected off around 304, I think it was that 304? Around 302, rejected off that around $3 mark, and that's where I should have gotten out. It had put in, 1, 2, 3 candles, rejection, topping tail, should have gotten out there. It was saying, no, not going to happen. Bigger red volume candle here, smaller green volume candles on those ones, and I should have realized that this was not going to work, and also the MACD was starting to cross. So with all those signals there, I should have gotten out. And if I gotten out around 290 break even, that's okay. I'm just paying my commission fees, which are around $2. So that would have been fine, easily recoverable. I didn't. I held through this flush. Not that it was a massive flush, but I pulled back down to 270, 272, kept coming down, 270, 269, 268, and then it dipped to 262. And I sold. I thought, no, I've got to stop out. I'm already below my stop. I should have stopped out already, way up here. And I stopped out there. As soon as I hit the sell button and my order filled, boom, it just rallied all the way back up to make a new high and hit my target. My target was 310 from 290. That was where my target price was. If it didn't hit that, I was going to take it at around 305 or somewhere around there, $3 at a minimum. The reason I didn't take it there is because I thought it was going to go further. But anyway, so that was very disappointing to see that rally immediately after I sold. And there was the better way to manage that was to sell here, get out of this stock there, and then as it came back through and broke back through this level here, the 9 EMA VWAP, was to buy back in here for that leg and push higher. But I am too reluctant to sell when things aren't going my way, and I don't know why that is. It's like, well, if it's not working and you can see all the indicators are showing that it's not going to work, just get out of it with a smaller loss regardless. And if it starts pushing higher, then buy back in. It seems that simple, but sometimes when you're trading, it just doesn't work out that way. Anyway, that was AUUD. This sort of went sideways after that, pulled back, stayed around that level around 270, but didn't really do much after that at pre-market. Had a quick push at the open, but nothing really fantastic. Next stock I traded was TIVC. TIVC, this popped around 8 o'clock, or 8:30 actually, sorry. I missed all of this move here, even though I think I pulled it up on the chart when it was, sorry, let's get rid of this here. I pulled it up on the chart when it was in this area here. So I missed taking an early entry here as it was pushing back over VWAP. So that was about 380 and it pushed up to just over 4. So there might have been an entry there for if I was quick enough to get out at 4. There was an entry there. And then it had this long pullback here. And once again, as it broke through the 9 EMA and looked to break through VWAP, that might have been an entry again around 380 for a push up to 410. Another pullback here, and this is the pullback that I should be taking. Even though it's an extended pullback, it's pulling back to VWAP. 9 EMAs on VWAP as well, so there's that support there, and that's where I should have gotten in around 385, 386 for the pushback to 410, breaking, well, it did break and make a new high at 423. So, you know, that's really the trade I should have taken here. Second pullback, coming back to sort of a support area, and, you know, it's still on the front side of this move. Although the MACD was kind of not looking too great around that area. But it pulled back here, it made another little push, rejected off that high, came back down here onto the 9 EMA. I bought in around the 9 EMA on this red candle here, looking for a rally back up to, you know, the highs again. It didn't, it rolled over, and instead of getting out straight away here on VWAP, as it broke through there around 388, 390, which is around my stop, I held looking for a rally, and it just didn't come. And I ended up selling down here at the bottom of that pullback around 361, and I mean, it did put in a little bit of a rally back to 368, but nothing really. But held that way too long. Should have been out far sooner than that. You know, my stop's meant to be around 10 cents, so I should have been out at 395, 390 to 395 should have been where I was exiting that trade. The thing too about that trade is that apart from the initial red candle here, it's broken up through VWAP. It's had a long pullback, extended pullback here. It's had another extended pullback here. That's 2 pullbacks. And then it's had a third one here. It's rejected off the high. And now I'm looking at getting in when it's quite choppy. So not a very good decision with all those sorts of things going on. Topping tails, not massive ones, but all that should have been a signal to say, no, don't buy this, wait and see if it actually confirms that it's going to go. Yeah, it didn't. It rejected off of 412 and then sharp decline. So not a good trade on TIVC, and this stock, that was pretty much it. Rolled over, and that was pretty much it for TIVC. Next stock I traded was TRIB. And TRIB, this popped up around 9 o'clock. I didn't take any trades on this as on the front side. Here, sort of, yeah. I'm not sure why I actually traded this. I think it was more to do with the price of the stock rather than what the stock actually had going for it, because it didn't really have anything going for it. It pulled back here, and it was pretty thickly traded too. the float on the stock was a bit higher than what I should be trading, a little bit outside my stock selection. So TRIB had, a float of about 17 million, and really I shouldn't be trading it. It's a little bit outside of what I should be trading. Under 10 million is really where I should be trading. But anyway, I thought I'd buy the low. I thought it would rally off the low and push back to $2. And once again, I got in here at 172, and it sort of rallied up to 177, but didn't hit any sort of minimum profit take for me. So I held it longer, and then it pulled back down to 167, and then down to 164. And so now it's getting into stop out time. And really, after here, when it rallied back up to 174, I should have taken it off the table when it started dipping again, because I've been in this trade already, what's that, 940, nearly 20 minutes, 15 minutes I've been in this trade, and it's not working. So I should just get out. So I didn't know, I waited, and eventually I did stop out at 160, which was within my stop margin. So that was okay. It did rally back up a little bit here, and then later on, well and truly after I'd finished, it did push up to around $2, which is what I was looking for. It was just not the right time. It was the wrong time. I had the right idea again, but just not the right time for it. So that was TRIB. So that was an $8 loss on TRIB. The last stock I traded was GLE. And GLE was a stock that had sort of popped up in after hours, and didn't really do much in pre-market. Had a little bit of a pop there up to $1, and at the open around 10 o'clock popped up over $1 and then pulled back. I was looking for some support here around the 9 EMA. I got in at 95 cents, looking for it to rally back up here to about $1, $1.05. I was looking for that sort of trade there. It didn't. It pulled back, kept coming back down to 88 cents, and then down to a low of around 84 cents. This was about my stop again, around 84 to 80, or 85 to 80 cents. And I was about to stop out, but it started buying back up. And because I'd already been in a couple of trades where I had sold right on the, pretty much on the pivot, on the reverse of the stock going down, I thought I would hold this one for a little bit longer and just give it a bit more of a chance. And not that that is good, but it did rally back up. Struggled to get back through VWAP, but eventually broke through VWAP, and then rallied back up to my entry. Went sideways a bit here, and I did think about just getting out of it, break even. But I thought, no, it's come this far. If it drops below, if it dropped below 92, 90, I think it was 91 cents, I was going to stop out at 90 cents. But it actually rallied up through to $1, $1.02, and came up to $1.09. And I sold right at $1.09 on the high there. Had a wall of sellers there, and I held for a little bit to see if that wall was going to break down. It didn't look like it was going, so I chucked my order in at 109 to see if it would get filled, and I was ready to cancel that and re-put in an order at 105 if it started to pull back. It didn't. I got filled pretty quickly, actually. at 109 with 115 shares. So I ended up making a profit of $16.10 on that trade, which was good because that helped reduce the loss. I think I was sitting at around 36, $37 down on the day, and that was way more than I would have wanted to be down, and the $16 definitely reduced that down, so it was good. It was tough though, it was a tough trade. Holding through that pullback there again, and just having that repeat again and again last night just showed that I was getting in at the wrong times. I wasn't taking the right trades. TRIB was a trade I should never have taken. Even the trade on TIVC, that was a stock I probably shouldn't have traded at all. So definitely not trading within my strategy rules in that last session, and you know that shows. You know, and the last stock as well, you know, that was within my limits, but right on the edge of my trading strategy. The stock that I should have traded, to be honest, was THAR in hindsight. And I saw this going, but I just don't know why I didn't trade this. This had sort of been on my radar since about 8 o'clock, where it popped up, and I missed it. I can't remember what I was trading at the time. Was I trading something at 8 o'clock? I can't remember. But I missed THAR, the initial pop-up here, and I did have a quick look at it as it sort of went from 157 up to 181, but then it started pulling back again, and I thought, oh, no, that's it, it's done. And it did look like it was done. It kept pulling back in pre-market, and then in the open, it started pushing up here, and I think I saw it around 151. It was sort of on my radar, and I saw it had popped up from sort of up 10 cents, and I thought, oh yeah, it's not really going far. But then, you know, it started pushing up over VWAP. But then I'd gotten into the trade with GLE during this time as well. So I was in a trade already watching that. So I missed this move on THAR. And by the time I finished GLE, it was, you know, it had popped up here and it was pulling back here, and it's still coming up, but I thought, I don't know, I don't think that's going to go. And also it was very late for me. So, you know, I didn't take the trade on that, but that did pretty well. Went from $1.42, $1.40 up to a high of $3 on that very long upwards trend there, and then pulled back, held above VWAP, and then later in the day pushed to a high of 398, so not bad. And even after hours pushed up to 6. So pretty strong effort there on THAR, but just not the right time for me to trade it. So that was it. 4 trades. I took a loss today of $21, and you know, my risk reward was actually not too bad, 1.3, but my accuracy is terrible, 25%. So yeah. So for the week, down $11 on the week, so hopefully with 2 days left to trade. This week I can pull that back with a couple of good, decent trades on the front side of the move within my strategy, and you know, really focusing on just trading my strategy, and getting a nice, or getting a green week, even if it's a small green week. So overall, 3 red trades and 1 green trade. I clawed back a bit with GLE, but still ended the day down $21. Not a disaster, but definitely a frustrating session where every trade felt like a fight. That's part of trading though. Some days nothing comes easy. The key is to keep showing up, learn from it, and move on to the next day. Thanks for following along this journey. If you want to see how I bounce back tomorrow, make sure to hit subscribe and stick around. I'll see you then. Hei ao popo.